वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. Good morning, namaste everybody. Chennai Storytelling Festival. Welcome to one and all. And today we foretellers, that is myself Rohini Jayanti, Veena Sitepalli, Sublakshmi Rana and Manjiri, are here to perform stories on Indian mythological tales, using different art forms. Actually, coming to mythological stories, they are the interpretation of sacred tales or fables of a particular culture, or they are a collection of such stories which deal with various aspects of human condition, whether it is good or evil. So they provide a basis for moral boundaries and they establish certain guidelines in which we have to lead our way of life. And they are interpreted in different 100 ways. So people can even learn valuable lessons from them and experience different sides of human behavior. The stories that we are bringing in today, they portray these elements that involve nurturing internal growth or harpening it through one's acts. Team, would you like to welcome everybody so that I can spotlight the current teller? Thank you so much. So the first teller of the day is Subbulakshmi Rana. So I would be spotlighting her and I would be speaking a little about her. Rest all I am removing from the spotlight. Subbulakshmi Rana, by profession a Bharatanatyam artist and a performing storyteller. With love, children call her Dance Story Ma'am. Her passion for dance drove her to join Kalakshetra Foundation, internationally renowned college for dance and music. She found her space Subbulakshmi's Nrityashala in 2009 in Hyderabad and Subbulakshmi's Natya Katha in 2017, and she also works at Hyderabad Public School, Begumpet, as a senior dance teacher. She narrates stories with Natya, hand gestures, facial expressions, and she also performed at various literature festivals and dance festivals. The story which she is going to narrate is a story of true devotion and love, which shows how a hunter transforms himself into an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. The story titled Bhakta Kannappar. Subbulakshmi, the screen is all yours. I'm starting the audio.
Namaskaram, good morning to everybody. Taking the blessing of Lord Shiva, let me take you to the forest, Ottapi forest, where we meet the tribal chief Nagan. Tribal chief lived with his wife, and both of them lived joyfully in the jungle. But they were sad that they never had a son, and they prayed to Kartikeya, the Lord Muruga, and asked him for a son or a daughter. After praying for a long time, they were born with a beautiful son and they named him Tinnappa. Just for a testing, Rohini, I hope you can hear me properly. Tinnappa grew beautifully. And one day, Tinapur was a very good archer. He used to go along with his friends in the dense jungle. Jungle is the forest. Goes in the jungle and do hunting with his friends. But with the heart, he was very compassionate and kind. Once, while hunting, he saw two birds. They were all loving. And then, as soon as the nipper friend, hey, I'm going to shoot an arrow. Oh, don't do that. See how nicely and how cute and beautiful they are. Please don't do that. Ah, this is so unlike of a hunter. What are you talking about? That's so nice. Please, let's not do that. Let's go forward and see something else. Takadimi, takajanu, takadimi, takajanu, takadin tam, takadin tam, takadin tam. What did they spot? Can you guess what did they spot? The lion and the lioness. They both were nicely cuddling to each other. And then again the hunter said, let me kill. Oh, that's marks right in my arrow. Let me do that. Do that. Did you see how beautifully, lovingly they are? Let's not do that. Tinnapur friends were fed up with the attitude, the way Tinnapur was acting. And as they move forward, they see a wild boar running here and there. And as Tinnapur was running around, he passed the bushes and the trees and running after the wild boar. He lost his way. And in there he sees, but he didn't find his friends. He started searching for them, but he didn't find. And there, in the far, he sees there's a hill. And top of the hill, he sees a shrine, a temple. Tinnapur being a hunter, he has never seen a temple. He says, what is this temple? This is so far. Let me go and see what is the secret of this temple. As he go, he take the stairs and he reached the temple. He was mesmerized to see the beautiful shrine. And there he see the beautiful Shivalinga. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. He forgot for a minute that he's a hunter. He's just looking into a shrine. He was mesmerized. It was all clean and clear. Everything was beautifully done. There was flowers around, and the shrine was just. He could not help but stay there, and he settled down there himself that night. And his friends watching all around the places, they could not find where his Tinnapur is. They found him everywhere, but Tinnapur was just here, praying to Lord Shiva, just looking at him, just praying and looking at him. And days passed, 1, 2, 3, and no one could find where his Tinnapur is. And Tinnapur's friend, when searching everywhere in the jungle, he somehow felt, why don't I look up to that hill? And when he climbed, he saw Tinnapur sitting there. He went to him and he said, hey, Tinnapur, what are you doing here? Let's go home. This is not our place. No. We are from the hunter family. We have come to hunt. He says, go away. I just want to be here. I just want to sing it to you. He was very tensed. He could not convince him. And Tinnapur was just there praying to Lord Shiva. Days passed. One day, he heard a sound and hid himself. And then he saw somebody coming. Shivaya Parameshwaraya Shankareshwaraya Namo Bhavaya Guru Sambhavaya Shivatandava Namo Shivaya Namo Shivaya Namo Shiva 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 Shivaya Namo Bhavaya Namo Bhavaya. So there's a priest who comes and clean the shrine, keep all the flowers and do the puja. Ha! Then the priest was surprised. Oh, this is the thing that I see. The shrine is so clean and clear. Spickle smell. I should also do something with it. And as the priest, he did the puja. He left the place singing the glory of Shiva. Shivaya Parameshwaraya. Tinapur thought, I must also offer something to the god. What should I offer? He started searching everywhere. He started running everywhere. I should do something. Ah, and then what he was good in it. I'm sure you all have guessed it. Was good in hunting. He went, he killed some animal, and he got what? See the innocence of Tinapur. He got a handful of meat to give it to Lord Shiva. He takes the meat and he says, Shiva, he used to speak to Shiva. Now Shiva is like friend for Tinapur. He takes, hey Shiva, I also got something for you. I saw the priest, he used to give you something. See, I also got something for you. He gives. So innocent. That was Tinapur. He gave the meat in front of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva watching everything. And he accepted. And Tinapur was so happy. He was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Shiva. Oh, Bholenath, I'm so happy. You liked it, right? What I got for you. And that has become a ritual for Tinapur. He started going hunting everywhere. Days passed. Days passed, and he started offering what? Started offering meat to Lord Shiva. And then you see, while he was going and traveling and hunting, he saw some flowers in the tree. And you remember, priest was actually putting some flowers to the Shiva. So why should not get it? So as his hand was full of meat, he thought, I'll collect some flowers. So see the innocence again of Tinapur. He collects some flower from the tree and he put it in his hair. Here, he decorates all. And then he goes and put it all the flowers to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva just smiled and accepted what the Tinapur gave. And then what? He thought, I should also give him a bath. It's been such a long time. So what he did is, he goes to the river, but he doesn't have anything to carry for. What he did? He just mouthful of water, he took it and he just did abhishekam, or he just poured the water into the Shivaling. And Shiva again accepted. And again after fortnight, who came? The priest. Shivaya Parameshwaraya Shankareshwaraya Namo Bhavaya Guru Sham. What is this filth? Oh my God! Rama, what did people have done it? Who did this? He was surprised and disgusted to see meat all over the place. He says, this is not acceptable. Oh my God, he cleaned all of it. He said, Shiva, 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 Shiva. I don't know who has done this. And he cleaned the whole place. And he cried in front of Lord Shiva and said, Shiva, who has done this to you? I'm so sorry. Somebody who has been nonsense would have done this. I'm really sorry, Shiva. This would have not been done to you. You're so pure. There comes Lord Shiva. He presents himself in front of the priest. Seeing the devotion of the priest, he got compassion in front of him. He says, "Hey, don't worry. You feel this is filth? No. This is the pure love of one of the devotee." "Ah, what are you talking about? Do you want to see? Do you want to test?" "Yes, of course, I want to see who is that priest who is beyond me." "In that case, why don't you hide behind the tree and watch what's happening?" And the priest went behind the tree, watching from there what's happening. And again, Tinnappar, as usual, he gets a lot of meat for Lord Shiva. And he says, "Hey, Shiva, see what I got for you. This is so fresh and nice. You will love it." And as he was offering, he sees what? One of the eyes of Shiva started bleeding. He says, "Oh, no. What should I do?" He doesn't know what to do. He got some juices, he took some leaves, made some medicine from the leaves, and he started putting on the eyes of Lord Shiva. He says, "Now you feel fine." But still, the eyes was bleeding from Shiva. It was bleeding, it was unstoppable. Tinappa don't know what to do. He said, "Oh my God, my friend, what happened to you? Who have done this? How did you got this wound? I have to do something." And when he sees here and there is this wound. Takes a small knife and he says, "In that case, I'll poke my eyes and give it to you." And he pokes one of his eyes and put it into Lord Shiva's eyes. And as soon as he does that, what happens? At once, it stops bleeding. He says, so joyfully, he becomes so happy. "Ah, Shiva, you're fine now. Oh, my friend, I'm so happy." But suddenly what he sees, the another eye started bleeding. He says, No, my friend, what shall I do?" Now he knows that how he can stop the eyes to bleed. What he does, he don't even think for it twice. Takes his knife and he pokes the other eye. And now it was very difficult for him to spot where is the eye. So what he does, he takes the help of his leg, the toe, and he keeps the toe in the place of the linga, and he takes the eyes and just put it on the place. Then he was very happy. He says, "Oh my God, I'm so happy. My friend is fine." And from there, the priest runs and he says, "Oh, what I watched is nothing less than a miracle." And there he sees Lord Shiva present himself. And he says, "Oh, my both devotees, bless you. God bless you." And from there, he gave back the eyes. He was just testing the devotion of Tinnappar. And from there, the Tinnappar name changed as Kannappa. For information, Kannapar is nothing but Kanna means eyes in Tamil. So he changed his name of Tinnappar to Kannappa. That is the story of Kannappa, the devotee.
That was so mesmerizing, Subbulakshmi. As usual, you took us into a trance. Thank you so much. And audience, please leave your comments in the chat box. Last 10 minutes, we will open the window for your feedback and for your questions or whatever. So without further ado, we would move on with the next teller. Thank you so much, Subbulakshmi. She was actually unwell, but she still made it today. Thanks a lot for all your support, Subbulakshmi. Thanks a lot. In many cases, human life ends with death and burial in the ground. Plants are just the opposite. They emerge from the earth and they draw nourishment from it. For this reason, many mythological traditions associate plants with birth or rebirth and with the eternal cycle of life springing forth from death. So in mythology, plants, trees, forest, they carry out lots sorts of functions. They are worshipped. One gives offerings to deity that is living within the tree. And the plants are also the mediator between God and their subjects. So now we have a beautiful story by Manjari. The story of Tulsi, a holy basil. Manjari is a preschool teacher who also works with NGO to teach English language to children. She is also volunteer at Asian Arts Museum. She loves listening and sharing fables, folktales, myths, and personal stories, especially to her grandchildren. Manjari, the screen is all yours. We are unable to hear you, Manjari. No. Yes. Yes.
Are you able to hear me now?
Perfect.
Good morning, everybody, and good evening. And thank you, Eric, for the platform. I will start my story with a prayer. Jai Devi, Mahishasuramatani, Survara Ishwara Varde Tarik Sanjivani, Jai Devi. Invoke the goddess within you, because today I'm going to tell you a story of another goddess, Goddess Tulsi, the courtyard goddess. What is the story of this goddess? It is explained in the Puranas in different ways, but this is my version. This is the version I know. Jalandhara was born out of a spark of the third eye of Lord Shiva when it fell into the water. And since he was born out of water, he was called Jalandhara. Jal means water. He grew up to be a powerful demon king. He was married to the daughter of King Kalnemi, whose name was Vrunda. Vrunda was not only beautiful, but she was very pious and spiritual too, and very intelligent. And due to this, Jalandhara became invincible because Lord Brahma had given him a boon that if his wife's piety would give him invincible, would make him invincible. And so he became very arrogant and started waging war on all the other demon kings. He became almighty and all powerful. Then he turned his attention to the gods, Parlok, God's domain. The gods were worried and they conferred among each other. Lord Brahma came to Lord Shiva, "Can you help me?" But Lord Shiva said, "No, he's a part of me. I cannot help you. But you go to Lord Vishnu. He will be able to help you." Lord Vishnu was a bit hesitant in the beginning because Vrunda was his ardent devotee. But seeing the plight of the gods, he agreed and dressed up and disguised as Jalandhara, he went in front of Vrunda. Vrunda was puzzled. "Hasn't my husband gone to war? How is it he has come back so soon?" But then, seeing her husband in front of her, she greeted him as any wife would. She got some sandalwood water and washed his feet. The minute she touched his feet, the chastity broke and Jalandhara was defeated. His head was cut off and sent to the palace. Vrunda was in anguish. "What happened? And who are you? Why have you done this to me?" When she saw it was Lord Vishnu, she was very hurt. "I am your ardent devotee and you did this to me?" She was also very angry. "I curse you that you will turn into a black stone." Shaligram. Shaligram is a fossil which is found on the banks of a river in India. "I also curse you that you will be separated from your wife, just as you have separated me from my husband." And it came true because later on in the Ramayana, Ram was separated from his wife Sita. But that's a story for another time. The gods were worried and they came to Vrinda pleading, Lord Vishnu is the preserver of all life, and if you curse him, then it won't be right. And Vrinda relented and she went on to commit sati on the pyre of her husband, Jalandhara. And out of the ashes grew a vanaspati plant, Tulsi. And Vishnu, who had been feeling very guilty about what he had done to Vrunda, named it Goddess Tulsi, the courtyard goddess. He said every house with a courtyard would have that plant and she would be called Goddess Tulsi. And she would be, you would have to do her puja. And he said, no prayer of mine or no puja of mine would be complete without offering of the Tulsi leaves. The Tulsi plant has a lot of medicinal properties. It is used in Ayurveda for curing ailments. And also, when you brew your tea, you can put some Tulsi leaves in it and have it, which I always do. And it gives you immunity against cold and coughs. And also, the Tulsi leaves are used as a repellent, insect repellent. The Tulsi plant, wherever it is, purifies the air. It is pure within and without. And it gives you a lot of immunity. Recently, I visited a temple in Mumbai where the Tulsi Vivaha took place. Tulsi had become a bride. She was resplendent and she was decorated. Bangles were put and also lamps were lit. Rangoli was drawn, geometric patterns, and Lord Krishna, one of the avatars of Lord Vishnu, was placed in front of her. Sometimes the cursed avatar of Vishnu is also placed in front. Then rice smeared with kumkum was thrown and a curtain was placed in between and the Mangalashtaka was said. Shubha Mangala Savadhan, and the marriage was solemnized. Garlands were exchanged and Tulsi was radiant as a bride. There was joyous atmosphere everywhere. People were very happy and laddus were given to all because, in a wedding, sweets are given after the marriage is solemnized. Before I end this story, I will say a prayer to Goddess Tulsi. Jai Devi, Jai Devi, Jai Maya Tulsi, Nijapatra Huni Lagutar Tribhuanaye Tulsi, Jai Devi, Jai Devi. Thank you.
That was so wonderful. You have created the visual images and visual props so beautifully, Manjari. Lovely story and lot of insights of the basil plant Tulsi. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for such a wonderful story. And now, we all know about meditation, and in the olden days, hundreds and thousands of years ago, the sages used to perform penance, austerity. And what are all these for? These were all to attain control over our mind, over our senses, and to overcome the six enemies Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsaryam. That means greed, lust, desire, attachment, ego, and jealousy. It is only when you can detach yourself from all these things, whatever powers you obtain or whatever achievements you make would be used for a selfless purpose. Otherwise, if you are integrating any of these enemies, like whether it is greed, whether it is pride, whether it is jealousy, with the powers that you have, they are going to destroy your very sense of nature. And to bring in today, I have a beautiful story which illustrates whatever I have spoken before. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, which means you should not harm someone who is trying to help you out. These lines call out the story of Bhasmasura, a demon who abuses or who misuses his boon that has been given by Lord Shiva and tries to destroy the very force that has given him such a bounty. And the story begins like this. Long time ago, in the Himalayas, lived a demon. His name was Vruka. Vruka was a very powerful demon, but was not at all satisfied with what he had. He always wanted to achieve and conquer this entire universe, and so was in the search, in the quest of looking out for a source through which he can obtain those powers. And in his search, one day he came across sage Narada, and he recounted his entire intention to sage Narada. And sage Narada told him to pray to Lord Shiva. Shiva has another name also, Bhola Shankar. That means irrespective of whether his devotee is a demon or an angel, he would just grant boons. And so it was very easier for the demons or for the angels, for anybody to please the Lord. And so Vruka set to perform severe penance to Lord Shiva. Hara 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 Shambho Shambho Himagiri Shringa Vihari Umanadha Shiva Gangadhari Chandra Choda Charmambharadhari Isha Girisha Purari Shambho. It means, O Lord, who live on Mount Kailash, who bears the crescent moon on his head and has his beloved consort as Parvati and also bears Ganga on his forehead, please bless me. And at that moment, Shiva was totally immersed in performing the celestial dance Tandava with his beloved consort Parvati. He was totally immersed. He was not at all observing what Vrukasura was doing. The flames of Vruka's penance reached the Brahmaloka. They reached the Vaikunta where Vishnu resides, and finally reached Mount Kailash, the abode of Lord Shiva. As Shiva was performing his Tandava, he could feel the heat of Vruka's penance. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Haraya. Shiva stopped for a while and looked down and was pleased by the devotion, by the sincerity, by the severity of the penance performed by Vruka. And so he got onto his Nandi and slowly came and stood in front of Vruka. He said, "My dear Bhakta, please open your eyes. I am here in front of you. I am so touched by your devotion for me. What do you wish for?" he asked. Vruka opened his eyes and saw Lord Shiva himself standing in front of him He was so excited. He was in an ecstatic trance. He said, "Hey Parameshwara, hey Maheshwara, finally you have blessed me. I'm so happy. Please grant me the boon of immortality." Shiva said, "That is just not possible, Vrika. Anyone or anything that is born has to perish or die some or the other day. You can ask for something else." Vrika started thinking. Tattari ittidimi tattimi takita tatkita tajanu taridavum. What should I ask for? Tattari ittidimi tattimi takita tatkita tajanu taridavum. I should ask for something very different, very unique from others. So he was continuously thinking and thinking. They did not have Google or something else those days, so that he can search what was the best boon that was given by Shiva to some other devotee. He only had to put his mind to think. And so finally, he came with a very unique and a weird boon. He said, "Lord Shiva, on whosoever head I place my right palm should burn to ashes." Shiva was stunned. This Vrika, even after performing penance for several hundred years, he could not overcome those enemies. He could not attain control over his mind. He's still the same, possessing all the emotions throughout all his senses in the body. But he had no other option except say, "Tathastu, so be it." And Vrika had a maniac laugh once he had obtained the boon from Lord Shiva. "Ha ha 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 ha! I am the most powerful in this entire universe. No one can ever defeat me. On whosoever head I place my right hand would be turned to ashes." And then suddenly he stopped. He thought for a while. But how would I test my boon, whether this works or not? How if Shiva vanishes and I try it on somebody, and if it doesn't work, do I have to perform penance for another 1,000 years? And what if Shiva does not grace me this time? He started to think, and suddenly he saw none other than Lord Shiva in front of him. And he said, "Parameshwara, I would like to test my boon. I would like to try it upon you." Shiva was startled. He was shocked. "What? You would try to apply the boon on me, the one who has granted you this? This is not at all justifiable. Vrika, you cannot do this to me." Vrika said, "Hey Parameshwara, you have to grant this. You have to accept this." So Parameshwara started running in fear, and Vrika started following him. They started running over the valleys, over the mountains, towards the lakes, the seas and the oceans. Lord Shiva had no other option except praying to the lender of the last resort, Lord Vishnu. And he started, "Sharanam bhava karunamai kuru deena dayalo karunarasa varunalaya kariraja krupalo adhuna kalu vidhinamai sudhiya surabharitam Madhusudhana Madhusudhana Haramamaka-duritam." Hey Vishnu, hey Lord Vishnu, you are the only savior of this entire universe. The atrocities of these demons are intolerable. You are the only one who can protect me and save me and relieve me from this burden of life. Please protect me from this demon. He prayed to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu, who was resting on the celestial oceans, heard the prayer of his friend Lord Shiva. So he transformed himself into a beautiful damsel, Mohini, and came on to the earth. Vrika was chasing Shiva, and Shiva hid himself behind the trees. And as Vrika was looking for Shiva here and there, he saw that beautiful damsel in front of him. He stopped for a while. He forgot about his boon. He forgot about Lord Shiva. Whatever he had in front of him was that beauty. Tum tum tana tana nadhim dhirana Urka slowly walked towards her. Tom tom tana tanana dheem dhirana. Mohini also exchanged looks with Urka. Nadir dheem tanana, nadir dheem tanana, tom tom dhirana. Urka closely went to her and said, "Oh, beautiful maiden, who are you?" Tom tom tana tanana dheem dhirana. Mohini stopped for a while and said, "Who are you?" Ruka said, "Oh, I am the powerful demon of this entire universe, Ruka." "And you?" "I am Mohini. I stay here with my parents at the edge of the forest." "Oh, Mohini, you're so beautiful. Will you marry me?" Mohini gave a smile and said, "For your beautiful looks, anyone would love to marry you. But I made a promise to myself when I was young that I would marry only a man who can defeat me in dance." Ruka was startled. "Dance? That was the only art I did not learn." But Mohini said, "It's very simple. You just have to follow me. I can teach you." And he was so happy and he was ready and set to dance with Mohini. And the dance began. Takajam, tarikita taka, tatakajam, tarikita taka. Ruka started his basic steps with Mohini, and Mohini was observing whether he was following her or not. And yes, he was. Takajam, tarikita taka, takajam, tarikita taka. And the dance began. Tadim dim tatanana tom tadara takita dim tarikita takana tarikita taka tarikita taka tadim dim tatanana. Ruka was exactly following what Mohini was doing. When she was moving her hand, he was doing it. When she was stamping her foot, he was doing that. Mohini was also very happy. Nadaradim tadiyanaradin ta. Yes, Ruka. Nadaradim tadiyanaradin ta. Now Mohini observed that Ruka is completely immersed and engrossed in her dance, and he has forgotten everything else outside that. So she thought that she has to move on to the last step. Tadaratani tantra natartaradim tadibitakadim takajedu takaditalangutom takatarikita. And what happened? Ruka, without even thinking, he blindly followed Mohini and has kept his right hand on his own head and turned into ashes. And then Lord Shiva came outside from behind the bushes to thank his friend Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu warned Lord Shiva that not to grant boon without thinking before. Because if you are empowering a person who cannot handle it, it is going to destroy them and it is also going to be harmful to the others. And both of them left to their heavenly abodes. Tatit talanguto, takatit talanguto, taka tarikita taka. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, dear friends. And now we have another beautiful storyteller with us. In a cosmological sense, the river symbolizes the eternal flow of time. Each river holds a spiritual significance. They are considered as deities who descended to earth to purify the souls and release them from the samsara, that is the endless cycle of death and birth. So let's watch the birth of a river through Veenaji's eyes. Veena Sitepalli is a retired preschool teacher, educator and volunteer. She nurtures and teaches young children about nature, cultural values and folktales is her primary interest. She motivates children and teaches using storytelling as a pedagogical tool also. She is a member of Hyderabad Storytellers Association, Australian Network and Feast and Indian Kamishibai Association. And she has been sharing her stories online and in schools, libraries, women's groups and many other literary festivals. Veenaji, the screen is all yours.
Thank you, Thank you, Rohini, Manjiri, and Subbalakshmi. That was a thunderous start. And of course, thank you, Eric, for this beautiful platform. Viewers, you're in for another different kind of a treat now. So, this is my Kamishibai Butai, as many of you may be already knowing. It's a bit tough to set myself up on the Zoom screen. And it's got 3 doors. So you won't be seeing me, but I'm just testing my audio that you can all hear me very well. Yeah, thank you. All right, so here is a story, another mythological tale about a river. And what does a river actually mean to you is the question I set to you as I unfold the story. Just testing the screen first that everything is okay. All right. These are called clappers or hoishigi, and the Kamishibai man in the Japanese theater used to bring his theater mounted on a cycle and rode into the little streets and little patios where children lived and gathered, maybe on a Sunday morning. How do we call out to them? He had some treats in his little bicycle box. He had little sweets so that he could call out to them and welcome them. And this is how it used to go. Can you clap with me, please? Come, everyone. Come on. Take your seat and sit down. I'm offering you just a little treat. I hope you've had your breakfast, but this is a little sweet treat. The Kamishibai man used to give the sweets to the little children gathered around him. The ones in the front, of course, get the best view. So please see that you've got your cameras on to get the good view. I begin with the story of Shiva Ganga. Who is she? She is not just a river, but she is a mother. She is a nurturer. She is the one who flows down onto land, but not just land. She is called Triloka Pathini. Triloka means 3 worlds, the celestial above, the earth, and the netherworld. And that's why we find in the spiritual context, they say that the Himalayas are the world above us, the sky. Do you think she is the Milky Way running free and not captive in the sky? Maybe give it a thought. Triloka Pathini. Path means going along. She is also called Shiva Ganga. You'll soon find out why. She is also called Bhagirathi. That's another name for her. Let's find out why. Are my cards clear? Thank you. She is beauty. She is tumultuous waters flowing down. She is nurturing as she flows. She is cleansing and purifying the souls and the land. She is none other than River Ganga. These are some of the cards that I've painted myself. And here is the story of how the Ganga was born. You'll find these stories in the Puranas, in the Rig Veda, in the Shiv Purana, and also in the great epic of Mahabharata, where she is the mother of one of the big persons called Bhishma. Many hundreds of years ago, in the northern part of India, there lived a king called Sagara. Sagara was a big, kind and benevolent ruler. He loved his kingdom and he looked after his people very well. People were also happy with the way he ruled, and there was friendship, growth, and everything that you could ask for in the kingdom. Well, but there was a little problem. After many years, in spite of having 2 wives, he had no heir to his throne. Who will look after my kingdom, he thought. I have no one to call my own. And so he set out for doing some penance and visiting all the sages of the land. And in doing so, he got a boon. Between his 2 wives, Keshini and Sumati, the sage said, one will bear just 1 son and the other would bear 60,000 sons. Now think, 60,000 is not a small number. So it's called Manas Putra, or what the mind thinks. Can you relate this something to our own mind? Think of the thoughts that go into your mind. So the 60,000 sons and the 1 son called Anshuman grew up. They grew up in the palace. They had everything that they wanted, and they had a kingdom which the people loved. Well, but they were not actually the best boys. And as they grew up, they learnt the bow and arrow. They learnt how to defend themselves. They learnt about the scriptures and the holy texts. But they didn't respect their gurus or their teachers. They used those bows and arrows to fight amongst themselves, and even with the children around in the neighborhood. They even used the bows and arrows to even destroy the birds and the trees. Oh dear, bloodshed sometimes on the playground. What is that little boy hanging up on the tree? Ho 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 ho, these princes used to laugh. I put him there, the other one said. And some of them even robbed the poorer people of their land and the crops. So nothing was really good. The king, however, decided that in spite of all this, he would be performing the Ashwamedha Yajna. The Ashwamedha Yajna is performed using a handsome white horse, and the horse travels between the kingdoms. And as he travels, if anyone is going to stop him, he has to battle with King Sakara and the army and the 60,000 children, princes. And so nobody was actually capable. They were all happy with King Sagara, and nobody stopped the horse. And so the horse kept traveling and traveling. But in the heavens above, Lord Indra, the king of the kings, felt a little shaken. What about my throne? Who will look up to me? I am the ruler of this entire universe. I am the one who is feeding the people with rain and giving them nurturing everything. Is King Sagara going to upset me? Is he going to be more powerful than me? And so, what he did is, he took away the horse. And as he took away the horse, he hid it somewhere where nobody could see. The 60,000 children who were accompanying the horse were resting near the water of a river. When they woke up, they couldn't see the horse anywhere. Well, they searched here and they searched there. They dug up the land and they created big pots, mud holes, and the netherworld, they could see what's underneath the earth. But they couldn't find the horse. Where is he? What will we tell our father, King Sagara? And as they went land to land, land to land, they found the horse. Can you see that horse there, tied to the tree? Who has done that? Who can you see? This is the hermitage of the sage Kapila. And he is meditating. The princes have all gathered onto the other side of this meditating sage, and they are very angry. Maybe he is the one who took the horse. He has no arms. How is he going to fight our king, Sagara? Let's destroy him. Let's throw stones at him. Let's hurl sticks on him. Let's do all that we can to disturb his meditation. And as he thought about that, the sage was getting upset, and he could hear all these noises and wondering, who is this who is disturbing my penance and peace? And suddenly, he awoke, and he saw with his eyes that he went into fury and fire, and he burnt all the bodies of the 60,000 princes. There were flames and dust and bemoaning and groaning of those souls that had now departed from the body, but they were hanging in the gloom of the air above. Well, in the Hindu customs, it is very necessary, or it's a practice, it's a tradition, that to release the souls from the liberation, to release the souls into liberation once they have departed the body, you sprinkle holy water. Well, there was no holy water there. How do we find this holy water? And where do we find this holy water? Began the search for the rest of the princes who came in search of these 60,000 princes. Well, nothing was all good. One dynasty, another, and another king followed, and the children and the princes of the next kings followed. But no, they could hear the moaning of those unliberated souls hanging in the air. Many years later, it was King Bhagirath who, as he ascended the throne, took a vow that he will be liberating these souls. And so, leaving his kingdom, he went away to do some penance. He looked up and he began praying. He looked up to that celestial river Ganga, the mighty river that flowed in the skies above. She was the only one who was pure and nourishing. How do I bring her down? Oh Ganga, come down to the earth and release all of us from our bondage and liberate us. But Ganga was a very haughty. She said, come down to the earth? What will I do there? And who can bear my weight? I will be tumbling down in such torrentous motion. Who can bear my weight, and how will I ever come? I will destroy this earth of yours, and I will be washed away into the nether world. But King Bhagirath then turned to Lord Shiva. Bam bam bole, bam bam bole, bam bam bole, Har Har Mahadeva Shambho, Har Har Mahadeva Shambho, Har Har Mahadeva Shambho. And he began his penance to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva knew how arrogant and mighty Ganga was. And so he said, don't worry. I will be the one who will hold her in my hair. I will be the one who will hold her and hold her captive in my hair. And so he untied his locks of hair and let them loose. And so Ganga descended. And as she descended, she came down on the hair of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva held her captive. You are too arrogant, you are too haughty, and your might will destroy the earth, he said. Ganga was held captive. She was never captive all these years. She was flowing as a celestial river. But she was now humbled, and she said, bowed down to Lord Shiva. He became her father because he is the one who released the Ganga as she flew down to the earth. And she began nourishing the waters of the land. Shiva Gange Bhagirathi. In the Hindus, it's a custom that as you bathe and pour water over yourself, you invite all the revered waters of the land and you say, Gange cha Yamune cha Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sandhidim Kuru. Invite the Ganga, invite the rivers to bless you, to cleanse you. And spiritually, you have to do this from within. And so Ganga flowed down. As she flowed, she had many tributaries. And she was now a goddess, a nurturing goddess, a life giver. She was no longer the arrogant and overpowering Ganga. And so she came down to the earth. And as she came down, she was happy to be nurturing the land, and fields grew and rice and crops grew, and the temples were dedicated to Shiva, to Ganga, and to many other gods and goddesses on this pure as she flowed on this earth. Children, when it's summer heat in the northern India, I have seen many a times, they just jump into the river and they are having a merry time. You will also find the Ganga being a source of enjoyment, as well as people go in the land of Uttarakhand and Rishikesh and they do some boating and they do some water sports too. The fishermen might want to fish something, but of course, the souls to be liberated. The dead bodies of people are brought to the ghats or to the banks of the river Ganga, and prayers are said, and they are lit in fire, and Ganga water is sprinkled on them so as to liberate their souls. You also find a lot of women coming and offering leaves and flowers and little lamps to the river Ganga. And as everybody enjoys her, there are times when the country cities are growing and the population is increasing and people wash their clothes along the river bank of Ganga. Is the Ganga pure? Is she going to cleanse us? Are we throwing in the pollutants? There are warning signs. Or would you rather have the Ganga river flowing as beautifully pure and peaceful? Maybe you want to do some yoga or watch a sunrise along the banks of the river Ganga. It's up to you now to see how you would treat the Ganga. And with that, I just sing a little prayer to the river Ganga. Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange Tribhuvan Tarini Tarala Tarange Shankara Mauli Viharini Vimale Mama Matirastam Padakamale Bhagirathi Sukhadaini Mastava Jala Mahimani Game Khyatah Nahan jane tavi mahamana pahi krupai mama jnanam pahi krupahi mama jnanam. This is a stotra by Adi Shankaracharya, written many years ago. and he only asks for the jnanam or the knowledge of the Ganga. With this, I close. Who is Ganga to you? Who is the knowledge? What is Ganga, the spiritual meaning to you? Thank you very much.
That was simply amazing. Just awestruck, Veena ji. My goodness, you just aced so easily and so beautifully. Wonderful story. And all the audience are also curious to know about more about your cats, but we will get back soon to them, ending with another story. So thank you so much, Veena ji, once again. So, can you all hear me? Yes. As I told you in my previous story, how Bruka, that is Bhasmasura, has misused the power or the boon that has been given to him. I spoke about the 6 enemies, that is anger, greed, lust, jealousy, desire, attachment, ego, and all these things. In my story also, there is a small enlightenment. The story which I'm going to do now, this is a storyboard wherein you can see all the characters of the story at one place. We create the story on a board. So this is called as a storyboard story. Ramayana and Mahabharata are considered to be one of the holy scriptures of Hindu mythology. Lord Hanuman is considered as an ardent devotee of Lord Rama, who was very powerful and mighty. And when it comes to Mahabharata, Lord Bhima, one of the brothers of the Pandavas, is equally powerful. He also has killed many demons, and he also possesses the mace like that of Hanuman. Though there is a long gap duration period between the Ramayana and Mahabharata, Lord Hanuman exists even in Mahabharata because he is considered to be immortal. Lord Bhima, after killing lot many demons, because of his power, because of his qualities, he has quite absorbed that kind of the pride and arrogance within him. And it was during the period when the Pandavas lose their game of dice with Kauravas and sent to exile in the forests. Arjuna was busy doing his penance to Lord Shiva to obtain the Gandiva, while others they set on a pilgrimage. In the meantime, Draupadi, the beloved wife of the Pandavas, and Bhima walk in a garden, the gardens of Kubera. There were lots of beautiful mountains on which Lord Hanuman was doing his meditation. And as Draupadi and Bhima walk, Draupadi comes across a beautiful celestial flower, which she has never before seen. She looks at the flower and feels so amused by the beauty of it. And so she requests Bhima to get more flowers so that she can offer them to Yudhishthira, their elder brother, that is Pandava's elder brother and Draupadi's husband, for his daily rituals, for his daily puja. As Draupadi was facing lots of hardships being with them, Bhima wanted to keep her happy. So he sets on his journey in the forest in search of those flowers. And as he walks in the forest, he feels so proud of himself, his attitude. I have killed many demons, and in the forthcoming war with the Kauravas also, I'm going to defeat everybody, including the Duryodhana. His mind was fully filled with kind of arrogance and ignorance and that attitude. Hanuman, who was doing the meditation on the top of a hill, was having a visual watch of his brother. Both these people, Bhima and Hanuman, are considered to be brothers because they were both blessed by the spiritual god of the wind, Vayu. So Hanuman wanted to clear the wheels, the sheaths, the layers of ignorance of Bhima, which are very useful to him in his future battle. So he transforms himself into a monkey. and slowly he appears and sits in the path of Hanuman. It is considered in those days that the superior persons should not cross over someone or somebody. They should either remove the object from their place or eliminate the object from their place. So Bhima, when he looked at the monkey and its long tail that was spread throughout the path, he wanted to shun it away. So he gave a big roar so that the monkey would be scared and would run away from there. Hanuman, who was in the disguise of the monkey, did not even bother to look at him. He simply sat. Bhima got annoyed with the arrogance of the monkey. So he said, "Hey monkey, can't you see I am Bhima, the king, one of the kings of the Pandavas, the one who is very powerful, the one who has killed many demons. Don't you see me here? Remove your tail from my path. I have to go to the celestial gardens of Kubera and get flowers from my wife." The monkey had all ears. Said, "Acha, acha. So you are the great Bhima. I have never seen you before. Oh, such a but finally I could have your presence today. Can't you see? I'm so old and so weak. I can't remove my tail. Can you just remove my tail and keep it out of your way so that you can walk?" Bhima said, "You want me to touch your filthy tail with my hands? Do you know what is going to happen if I touch your tail? It is going to break into pieces and I'm just going to throw you away miles from here." The monkey said, "That's okay, whatever you do. Just remove my tail, keep it aside and walk on your path. I can't do anything myself. See, I'm very old." Then Bhima took his left hand and tried to lift the tail of the monkey. He tried his best. To his surprise, he just couldn't even move it. He was startled. What is this? Me, the great, the most powerful, unable to lift the tail of an old monkey? Then he tried with both his hands. He tried to pull and pull. He was feeling so insulted, so humiliated. He tried his best ways and means possible to lift the tail of the monkey, but he couldn't. And then at that point in time, the ignorance in him shattered into pieces. He realized this is no ordinary monkey. It could be some divine force that has come here to test me. And the moment he realized, he humbly asked, "May I know who are you? I know you are not an ordinary monkey. You are someone very great, very powerful, very much divine. Can you show me your true presence?" And when Bhima asked humbly, the monkey transformed himself into mighty Hanuman. Bhima was so elated looking at his brother Hanuman. They both hugged each other. And Bhima told Hanuman, he asked for the forgiveness for his arrogance and for his ignorance. And Hanuman told him that he would sit on the flag of the Pandavas during the battle that happens with the Kauravas, and they will always have a victory, and not to bring in this kind of ignorance and arrogance anywhere at any point in his life. And so Hanuman disappeared from there, and Bhima went and he picked up some flowers that was asked by Draupadi. And then so he walked back to Draupadi with the beautiful celestial flowers. And that is the end of the story. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, audience. I will just spotlight all my friends here. Veenaji, where are you? Subbalakshmi, yes. Is Veenaji here? I can't see her.
I think she lost connection. She was saying.
She's here. She's here.
on the mobile. I'm so
Okay,
glad.
Veena ji. Okay, Veena ji.
With all the divine energy, I would say, reconnect.
Yeah, just a minute. Veena ji, can you take over?
All right. Am I audible? Am I visible?
Yes.
I'm here on
Yes.
mobile. Thank you to everybody. I'm glad once again to the divine energy that I completed the story in time. Well, all the good wishes from everyone. All right, so here's a very short, crisp story of Lord Ganesha. We all know Ambuja Valli had recently spoken about parallel stories. And that's a story that you know that you can relate to another story. So I said, before I begin this story of Lord Ganesha, just a small little parallel story. All of us in childhood, we tug at our mother's skirt, or in India, they tug at the mother's sari pallo and say, I want to eat this sweet. I want to get that treat. And can you give me maybe some pudding or some cupcakes? In my case, it's chocolates. And then, of course, if the mother is so busy doing the housework, she says, go away, not now. I've got work to do. And that's what my daughter said this morning. Mummy, go away. I can't be hearing your lovely, sweet stories. I've got work to do. I've got to cook for my children. Okay, there you go. Mummy and the cooking never stop. And so did Goddess Parvati, who is the mother of Lord Ganesha. She too was a householder in the Himalayas or wherever you may say. And Goddess Parvati had two sons, Lord Ganesha and Kartikeya. Lord Ganesha is known that he loves food. Any of y'all who are foodies, rub your hand on your tummy and feel that aroma in the kitchen bursting out, or maybe a cup of coffee at least, or salivating tongue. And that's what happened to Ganesha. And he says, mother, make me some sweet treats, some modak or just some laddus. If you can't even do that, give me a simple kheer, a rice pudding. In every household, there will be some rice, some milk, and some sugar. It just takes those three items. Can't you make that for me, mummy? And Goddess Parvati again said, run away, do some work. And so Lord Ganesha, being the Lord of wisdom and a Lord of wit, he decided to test his devotee. He came down to the earth in the form of a young, small boy, dressed in lovely casual clothes with a little shawl over his head and hiding pot and he knocked on the door. Open. Who's that? Hey, what are you doing here? I've got work to do. Threw away one of the ladies. And so he knocked on another door. And another door. And another door. And everywhere, maybe it was a Sunday morning, all the women of the house were preparing breakfast or making lovely sweet treats, and they all shooed him out. Go away. But I just want some kheer. I have a fistful of rice grain and I have a spoonful of milk. I also have a little bit of sugar. You only need these three items to make a kheer or a rice pudding for me. Not now, not now, not now, said everybody from the village. And so the little boy walked, and walked, his tummy rumbling. I can see a little light by the end of the day in that small hut down there at the end of the road. Let me walk faster and go and see an old woman sitting outside her hut. What do you want, you lovely little boy, round little fellow? She said. Oh, mother, I have a fistful of rice and I have some sugar, and I have a spoon full of milk. Can you make me a sweet rice pudding? Yeah. Okay, come in, little boy. But I have only a small vessel to put on the fire, she said. No, no, you need a big vessel, he said. Well, they both searched and they put the biggest vessel that they could find on the fire. She put it down and she began putting all the ingredients, and the milk started boiling. Ganesha told her, oh, sorry, the little boy told her, I'll just be out for a little walk and I'll come back. And don't you eat the rice pudding without me. Give it to me first. Just in case, if she finishes the pudding and kheer and he has nothing to eat again. So he made sure. And off he went for a walk. Now she boiled the milk. The smell was wafting. And the neighbors also started looking in, the little children from the windows. Boiling in old mother's house. Hey, she's cooking today. Where did she get that rice and the milk and the sugar from? They started wondering. Well, as she started boiling, the milk started overflowing and the rice began increasing and she just couldn't stop it. And so she began eating that hot pudding. It's tasty. Suddenly she remembered, oh no, I have to put some for Lord Ganesha because he's the one who's given me all this. And there was a little idol in her room. And so she went and put a little bit of that pudding in front of Lord Ganesha.
Veena ji, last 4 minutes left.
Sorry. Pray and please eat it. Thank you, he said. And suddenly he appeared from that little small boy's garb. He came as Lord Ganesha himself. And he blessed her and he said, you are my true devotee. Thank you for offering me this sweet treat. And I hope this sweet treat of mythological tales have been nourishing to all of you too. And so I end here. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Veena ji, for ending the story with the session with a wonderful story. Eric, I have moved to the gallery view now. So audience, if you have any questions or if you want to share something, you can. We have just 3 more minutes for the next session to begin.
Yeah, quickly, I don't want to miss this opportunity. This is one of the best shows we have witnessed in CFC board. I mean, I was just now messaging, like, whoever has missed, I'm sure, I'm hoping this recording will be made available for us to watch again and also for those who have missed. So beautifully curated, and each and every, I mean, the style, I would like to talk more, but since there are only 2 more minutes, I just give the place for others to talk. Thank you so much for this wonderful show.
Thank
Just
you so much.
one word to say, mesmerizing. Fantastic session.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We should all thank Eric. The moment when I messaged him saying that I have this idea in mind, would you like us to perform? He said, excellent, come on, share me the details. So thank you so much, Eric, for creating this platform, for giving us this space to perform.
And I want to thank you. It has been a real treat. There are 2 of us here from Australia, so we thank you. I'm speaking on behalf of Joanne as well. So it was, what a treat, what a wonderful experience, and the variety of storytelling forms.
Yeah, if I may, like Kiran said, the variety was amazing. So many dimensions of presentation. It was wonderful to watch. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was like really lovely. I thought, okay, there's music, there's dance, and then when the Kamishibai illustrations were awesome, and then when Rohini again got out the puppets, I felt watching the Mahabharata in 80s, what I watched in TV. So that was like really, it was a surprise because I didn't expect the cutouts to be there, and the way Veena ma'am actually narrated it with Kamishibai and her illustrations, the dance, the music. I think it. I mean, I joined in when the dance story was going on. So I don't know if there was anything before that, but thank you so much for curating this. It was beautiful and wonderful.
Thank you. That was the first story, actually. Thank you so much, Anaga. Yes, Eric, on time we have nailed it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.